All set.
Welcome, everyone. This is the regular monthly board meeting for the Tioga County Industrial Development Agency. It is Wednesday, March 3rd at 4:33 p.m. And the meeting is hereby called to order. Christine, could we do an attendee roll call, please?
Jen Tecarelli.
Yes.
Kevin Gillette.
Yes.
Aaron Gowen.
Yes.
Tracy Manell.
Yes.
Martha Sabri.
Yes.
Eric Knowles.
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Has everyone had time to review all 3 meetings that are listed on the agenda, the minutes? I hope so. And if so, I would entertain a motion to approve all minutes.
So moved. This is Kevin.
Second, please.
Second, Aaron.
Thank you. Christine, roll call.
Jen Tecarelli.
Yes.
Kevin Gillette.
Yes.
Aaron Gowen.
Yes.
Tracy Manell.
Yes.
Martha Sabri.
Yes.
Eric Knowles. Eric Knowles.
Eric, you're muted.
Yes.
There you go.
John Ward.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to the financials. Aaron, any comments?
It's fine. Thank you.
All right. I seek a motion to please acknowledge the financials.
I'll make a motion. This is John.
Thanks, John.
I'll second it. This is Tracy.
Thank you.
Jen Tecarelli.
Yes.
Kevin Gillette.
Yes.
Aaron Gowen.
Yes.
Moving on to the financials.
Yes.
Aaron, any comments?
Oh,
It's fine. Thank you.
All right. I seek a motion to please acknowledge the financials.
gosh, what is happening?
I'll make a motion. This is John.
We're having a big echo issue here. Wait
I'll
one second.
second it. This is Tracy.
Jen Tecarelli.
Yes.
Kevin Gillette.
Yes.
Aaron Gowen.
Yes.
Moving on to the financials. Aaron, any comments?
Oh,
It's fine.
I saw the live share.
Going back and forth. What's going on?
Acknowledge the
Does anybody have their
Like deja vu
their
mode.
mic on
John.
and their phone mic?
You here, wait
I'll
one
second
second.
it. This is Tracy.
Turn stuff off, guys.
Jen Tecarelli? I don't know.
Does anybody have their phone on and their computer mic?
Sorry about this, guys. I'm not sure what's causing it.
Well, it sounds quiet now.
We acknowledge the financials like 5 times so far.
All right, next item on the agenda, let's move forward with Leanne's report.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to very briefly go over our 2020 annual report. I'm hoping that you were able to receive that. I think Christine emailed it out to everybody. I'm not going to look at it in detail. Just wanted to mention that in the report, we talk about our accomplishments for the year, Team Tioga, for the year 2020. It talks about the strategic economic recovery plan and our common themes and goals there. Talk about activity with the land bank, what's been happening with planning and zoning and 239 referrals, our advancements in agricultural development, talk about activity of the IDA, tourism office, community development, workforce development, and the downtown revitalization initiative. It notes the 1.85 million in grant awards that we were able to help out with, assist with in one manner or another. I think that's pretty good given the circumstances of the year 2020. And you know, if you have any questions on any of that, please let me know, but I'm pretty pleased and proud of the efforts by all, Economic Development and Planning, IDA and LDC. So that's all I have on that. Unless you have some questions.
Great report, Leanne. It was really, really well done.
Thank you. That was a group effort. Thanks.
Okay, moving on to project updates. Yes.
Okay. So I'm pulling up and going to share the Legal Gardens 2 map. For those of you joining online, Leanne, if you could kind of go over this, please.
Yeah, so the reason we created this map, once it comes up, that shows the property that is remaining that the IDA owns. So it shows the Owego Gardens 1 is out of there. It shows the property that was purchased as part of Owego Gardens 2, as well the property that will be designated for the water tower. So what's left is what we still have, what the IDA still has control on. The first thing is I wanted everybody to kind of get a visual of what that looks like. And then the next thing is on the financial statements, when I was looking them over and I talked to Aaron about it, there is a line item on there that says Mitchell property with a value associated to it. The Mitchell property actually is no more. That's gone with the sale to OG1 and OG2. The actual property that was Mitchell is no longer there. So that raised the question, this value that's assigned under this line item, does that actually represent the value of the remaining property at the east site that the IDA owns? So I asked Christine to reach out to Jan to get an indication on what that value represents. And if it is in fact the balance of the east site, we need to rename it so that it's appropriate. But I suspect that's what it is. But as it's reflected right now, it's not, it's kind of confusing. So, you know, that's why I don't know, Christine, if you were able to connect with Jan on that yet or not, but if she hasn't, that'll be something we will be bringing forward, clarification on the financial statements regarding what's listed as the Mitchell property.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't called Jan yet, and I intend to do that and go over with her this map and the fact that Mitchell property as purchased has been sold to Owego Garden, as well as, you know, all of our land assets, and just try to get to the bottom of it. The land Mitchell, as it shows $58,000 in value. From the report I printed off, it looks like it includes the $55,000 that we purchased it for, and then a few land studies on that land itself. So I'm not inclined to think that it represents the balance of those east site properties that we do own, and those are not listed anywhere else. So that's kind of where I am from just a quick review, and I'll take that to Jan and include you to Leanne to, you know, try
Okay,
to.
sounds good. Are we not able to see the map? Is it not coming up?
I can't get it.
Nobody sees it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try again. Can you see it now?
Yep, there it is.
Okay, sorry about that.
So what's in red, aside from where you can see where the water tower is going, that hasn't been transferred yet, but it will be. But what's in red is what's left that the IDA still owns. So Christine, if you could kind of scroll a little bit so you can kind of get a sense for this. So that's the part that's in the town. It abuts Strong Road. And then if you could go the other way, Christine. There's the village portion of what's left in the village. So the Mitchell was down there across from 430, right along 434. So
Like a,
you can see that property's all gone.
No, it was off to the west. It was that western corner.
Yep.
Uh,
I go over here.
you're right, towards, yeah,
Okay.
right, that front corner was where Mitchell property was. It was a house
Yeah.
that we tore down. And the value of the rest of the property, I don't know what you're trying to say there, but you know, the county still has their portion that their value plus the Mitchell property. And we paid to tear it down too, and that's not in that figure.
That's right, we did. I've got those numbers, I think, if you need them.
Well,
I kept them.
I would say Jan would need that stuff to, I don't know how it's gonna be.
Reflected.
Yes.
Yeah. But there will be a change in some way. There will be a change to our financial statements relative to this property.
Hey, one more thing on this map. I thought Owego Gardens 2 was kind of tucked up behind Owego Gardens 1. Looking at this map straight up and down, the way it's been presented, it would have been off to the right in that. I thought it was sitting in that red area. Maybe I missed something here. I thought the townhouses and such were in that green area.
Yeah.
But I thought the other. Go ahead.
The townhouses are, you see that little cutout area, Marzo owns that. So the townhouses will be right along there in the green. OG2 will be at the top of the hill up here, up at the top. That's where OG2 is going to be in the green up here, right along the village and town boundary, right up in here. So the apartment building will be up here along the boundary, and the townhouses will be a little bit farther down the hill, like on the other side of Marzo's property, right down there.
And is this the water tank right here?
Yep.
Okay, OG1, it's a little confusing because the pond down the holding area down there, doesn't that belong to OG1?
Yeah, they own all the way down to 434. You can see the property line.
Okay. Your map is a little confusing. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, OG1 owns all of this that's not red down here in the front.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay, that area.
Yep.
All right.
And then this is all
OG2.
OG2.
OG2 owns the green, and you can see where the road is delineated. Ultimately, that will be assigned over to the village.
Oh, this road right
Yep.
here.
That ultimately will go to the
that's
village.
true. Okay.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Is that the property that's labeled 12909-2-1814?
Yes, that's correct.
That's the road.
That's the road.
And what is the 129.001.33?
All the way at the bottom.
That's the easement that is required by Suez. Joe, is that right? That's the easement?
Yep.
There was an easement required in there related to the Suez project for access to the tank.
Hmm.
The grade for the road for the tank was going to be too steep to cut it off at the property line. And so therefore, Jamie had to work in an easement to allow access to the road that's going to go up to the tank.
Okay, and the road going to tank becomes Suez's property.
Correct.
Okay. And that's all on the town.
Yes.
property.
Yep.
Right. Right.
Any other questions? We will be bringing back more information as we get this figured out as far as the financials.
Okay.
Well, I have a question just for the sake of it. all that red area, is that all really wetlands?
Pretty much. There's one small area on 129.09-2-18.11. There is a small area there that could be developed right about where the numbers are noted. There is a small area there that is not wetland that we would be able to develop. The town portion, we have not had a wetland delineation done on that part. We only did the village portion. So I don't know what's in store for us there. You know, I suppose we should work toward finding out, but
And
The
didn't-
top of the top of the hill is fine, but in the red area, that's really wet.
Like
On the
down
town.
here, but
Up towards the top. Yeah, where it's dark, where that dark area is, and that's where you're at now is all dry. That's
Yeah.
the top of the
and
hill.
that's over, okay.
That's the top of the hill.
Wasn't there someone once who wanted to buy our property to build some homes there, wasn't it?
Steve May wanted to buy it to buy personal residences.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you move your cursor up, stop, right,
like this,
turn,
that's
go,
dark.
go to the right a little bit.
Go up to where the tank is,
Yeah,
Christine, right of the tank, to the right of it.
okay. Now, if you go a little bit towards the top of the hill, that black area right in there,
right there.
that's real wet.
You can
There's-
see it.
there's-
oh, really?
There's little ponds in there and
Oh.
it's full of springs.
Yeah,
It is a darker color.
So I
But the
walked,
The top of the hill is very developable.
Yep, and beautiful. The views are extraordinary there.
yeah, they are.
Why don't we put a road in there and carve off 6-8 lots and
we
sell them
talked,
off?
we talked about that once, remember? What kind of lots will we do? Would we put water up there? How would we divide them? We had a plan, didn't we?
Yeah, actually Fagan did a conceptual for us on how you might lay that out for single family housing development.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
challenge was related to not so much the water, since we're gonna have a water tank right there, but the sanitary sewer, if you were going to, build enough homes to make it profitable. How do you get sanitary sewer there? We looked at a couple of options, either taking it into the village, onto the village part of the parcel and tying into what's going to be there for Owego Gardens already. And the other was actually coming out on Strong Road, taking it down to Montrose Turnpike and tying into sanitary sewers right there on Montrose. We could actually tie it in there. So, those were the two options related to the sanitary sewer that we were kind of looking at. Haven't gone back to that in a while. We've been a little preoccupied, but
Why can't you just put a regular septic in, an engineered septic? What are all those places that are on Strong Road? What are they running on now?
so it's going to be a matter of lot size, how many lots you can get in, and what the town is going to require for a lot size for an independent septic system. So we had to really do the analysis on that. How many lots can you actually get in there? If you want, the higher end housing type projects typically like to have municipal sewer. So that's the way we were, if you're going to get a developer, they're going to want municipal sewer available to do higher end housing. So there's a couple of things in play there. What's the code according to the town? What will they allow? How many lots can you get in based on that versus how many lots you could do if you were to tie into the sanitary? I can start looking into this in more detail if you would like. It hasn't been on my radar, but I can.
Well, all I'm saying is you have a piece of land there, and if we're not going to develop it and we're going to get all hung up on the municipal water and all that, is that piece of land just better off, carve it out at above the water tank, whatever our buffer zone is, and just sell that thing off to somebody private, let them deal with it? It's not a commercial piece. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be a commercial piece. Just my thoughts. Get it off the books, sell it, get some cash.
Let somebody go deer hunting and pay taxes on it.
Yeah, what the bearded guy said.
I want to know how much it's gonna go for. It sounds like there might be some deer up there.
Mostly open field.
The vision was always for single-family housing development. But, you know, if that vision has changed, that's fine.
Oh,
We are in need of high-end, single-family housing. But I don't know if the IDA wants to get into that, so. Okay,
great.
All right.
Moving along.
So that brings us to construction costs for Owego Gardens 2. Going to share this Excel. Hopefully you can see it. Are you able to see that?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is showing total of contracts A and B to Robinson and contract C to Aquasor for the IDA component of the Owego Gardens 2 construction. Here it shows the total of those contracts. I'll be inputting each payment to the contractor in this section, keeping track of where we stand and how much the balance is on those. Next set shows all the payments that we've made to Fagan to date towards the full contract amount of $95,000. Then we have Leanne, can you kind of take over about the Suez portion of $48,800 and what that represents?
okay, so a couple things. Aaron had asked, I know it's very confusing. I mean, we're dealing with it every day, but you guys only get to hear about it once a month. So Aaron asked for a summary, a good a synopsis of how much money are we spending and where are we spending it. So, you know, I broke down contract A, B, C, what we have to Fagan, what we have to Suez, and any other miscellaneous. So I also included the contingency. If you remember, Jamie had spoken about including two 10% contingencies in the numbers in the event more engineering or construction money is needed. So the bottom line is all money in anticipated at this point for the IDA is 1.5 million. There we have credits associated with that. Suez will allow credits for however many linear feet of water main that's put in and certain particulars associated with that. We're estimating that credit would be at about 110,000. We have the ESD grant coming yet. We have money ED&P has put in for a total in credits of 487.5, leaving the net cost at 1,043,000. Two numbers there that are an estimate yet. One is the box culvert. We don't know what that number is going to be. Jamie spoke to that at the special meeting. We had estimated 40,000. We don't know yet what that number actually is. So this number could change. And the other is what Christina's asking about, the Suez number. So remember I sent you the email where I was freaking out that Suez was going to charge us $250,000 to the inspections on the project as it goes along. I checked with PSC. We have to pay Suez or whoever they contract with, independent party, to do the inspections on the work as it goes along. Two things. Fagan had included $85,000 in their initial contract with the IDA for those inspections. So their original contract was for $180,000. They have since taken that $85,000 out. So the balance was $95,000 that we were going to have to pay to Fagan for their work related to the project. So we get a negative there. Then we have to add in whatever Suez is going to charge. Jamie did his best back of the envelope guess based on conversations with both contractors and the number of hours they thought they were going to be on site. He used an hourly rate of $85 an hour, which is comparable to what Fagan would have charged. Suez is going to use Hunt to do those inspections. Jamie's estimating that cost to be closer to $41,000 for the inspections from Suez, but again, we don't know that yet. So those are the two things that are up in the air: the box culvert and what the actual inspection fee by Suez will be. Suez can't just charge us anything. It will be by hourly rate and by number of hours there. It will be monitored. Keep in mind, Fagan is still on site because they are still working for home leasing. So they will have men on site. So we're pretty comfortable that we'll get a good idea and good understanding of what the fee will actually be, since I'm not able to get anything in writing from Suez yet. Keep trying. So if you want to go back up to the top, as Christine mentioned, what she'll do as change orders come in, because we know they will, and as payments are made, she will make adjustments to the contract based on whatever change orders come in, and then also she will record, similar to what we have here under Fagan, the date and the amount that's paid on each contract. So you'll have a running number of what's been paid and what's remaining. And you see to the right, the contract totals, 1.3, payments made to date, credit of 10,000 of that 95,000. IDA only paid 85,000 of it. So the credit to date. So, and our balance is 1.2 that we're anticipating. That does not include either of those 10% contingencies. This is just what we have in contracts in place at this time. So you'll get this regular update from Christine each month, so you can kind of keep track of what's being paid and what's still owed.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Leanne.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on, social media RFP. We did send this out to 4 contacts that Abby Hendrickson knows that had experience with this sort of professional service as well. I apologize for that noise. I also sent it out to Binghamton University's communications department, seeking them to share it with students and alumni, but we only had 1 proposal submitted. That's from Busy Life LLC, which is owned by Catherine Fletcher. She's asking $250 for an initial takeover fee and then $500 a month for the social media services that Maddie used to provide to both the Instagram and the Facebook pages. I'm going to share her proposal.
So we were paying Maddie $300 a month, correct?
Correct.
And nobody else wanted to do this, huh?
From the outreach we did, nobody else submitted one. So Abby did highly recommend Catherine. She said of the 4 she shared it with, that would have been her top choice, and that she's great to work with. Included in this proposal, we requested multiple examples of prior work, and she provided, work examples for the Discovery Center, a few other examples, the Binghamton Philharmonic, and see what else did she include here. Busy Fit Marketing. So we have some, various examples here of her past work. Don't know how the board feels about, whether or not you want to enter into a contract for a year's worth of services.
Who would be managing this person?
I would be the direct interface with her, and we would schedule meetings with all the team members to kind of brainstorm and kind of decide together, the focal points of the upcoming posts. We used to meet with Maddie, every 3 months or so and kind of put together a plan.
So from a contractual perspective, what if she doesn't do what she's supposed to? I mean, what do you do then? Can you let her go, or?
Sure, we could we could write the contract similar to how we did with Maddie. It provided, I believe, it was either 1 week or 30-day notice to dissolve the contract. So we could make it however the board would like it to. We could do a week if that's preferable.
Leanne, are you okay with this person?
I don't know her, but if Abby highly recommends her, then that's good for me. She's had, direct experience with her.
Right.
I don't know her well, but she's been pretty active for quite some time. I believe she went to BU. I'm not sure if she's from around here or not, but pretty high energy person. Seems to have a good reputation in the community, mostly out Broome County way. But she seems to be a good person.
I can share her resume too.
I think the question would be, is the board, does the board think it's appropriate to spend $6,000, for social media? And I'm gonna just leave that up to you guys. If you think it's okay, then fine.
Isn't this shared throughout Team Tioga? I thought that was the premise at the last meeting, that this wasn't just all about us. It was all about the entire Team Tioga. And in that case, are we funding the entire social media platform?
Yes.
Yes.
The IDA would fund the entire thing. And the IDA isn't a big participant in this platform, but we have financed it for the past couple of years. And it does share a great deal of information. But
So we'd be
Leanne,
increasing our annual expense by $2,400.
yes,
I would say kind of to that.
24, 20, 26, 50.
Well, it depends. What the IDA put out for contracting services last year, including Maddie, Kathy, me, and Megan, was $58,400. If you were to go with this contract, due to the change with Kathy for contracting services, you would be putting out $51,750.
Good math, Leanne. I like that.
You got to put your twist on it, Kevin. I got to be ready because I knew what you were going to say.
In the long run, does anybody feel like backing away from the social media platforms is really the way to go?
No,
Anybody? I'd like that right now.
no, I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to Team Tioga that really need to have the social media platform, not us so much, but supporting those other pieces are part of what we do, right? So
I think though, for the past 3 months, and I'm not against the concept, but it seems to be working really well without a social media person. December, January, and last month, I see an awful lot of posts on there. They're really nice.
Yeah, we try. That's all coming out of our office, and we try whenever we see something, we try to post it. But I would really like to have some more focused. I mean, you brought it up, Jenny. I'd like to do something a little bit more specific to the IDA, and we just don't have time to do that. Right now, all we're doing is sharing things that come across our desk.
Right, but how would this person get integrated with everything that goes on? I mean, who knows better what goes on than Team Tioga? How do you integrate this person into all of that?
Well, as Christine mentioned, what we used to do with Maddie is that we would have quarterly meetings or however often you decide according to the contract, where your social media person sits down with the team and talks about what it is that we're trying to, what message we're trying to get out there, and talks about potential for posts and, and other ideas that we just haven't been able to go after right now. All we're really doing right now is sharing other people's stuff. And I think we could do so much more than that.
Well, hopefully if we go with this person can be brought up to speed and, have a good knowledge of what we're trying to do. I mean, otherwise it's going to be for fraud. I mean, I think that it could work, but this person has to spend time, I mean, obviously, with all of you. Right?
I'm willing to give it a shot for the difference in money. This is just me speaking. I'm willing to give it a shot for the difference in money. So if we got a second, we can move on.
I'll second that, Eric.
Let's go ahead and vote.
Jen Ceccarelli?
Yes.
Kevin Gillette?
Yes.
Aaron Gowan?
Yes.
Tracy Manell? Tracy? Oh, sorry, you're low. Martha Stabrag?
How about yes?
I think Marty had to drop off.
Okay, thank you. Eric Knowles?
Yes.
John Ward?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. She's still on. Okay, so back to the agenda. Proceeding with, just wanted to note in the minutes and let the board know the New York State Comptroller's Office had an auditor review the Paris report from last year, asked a few questions, and I answered those, and I amended a few figures and resubmitted that report in February.
And you haven't heard back from them?
I haven't heard back from him. We corresponded a lot through email, so he knew what my amendments would be, and he was understanding and in approval of that. The 2020 year-end audit is complete. They're working on the final report. They're just waiting on, I have one more company at this point that needs to submit their employment figures, and once they do, Insera will have everything they need to issue the final report. There's nothing for the governance committee report. We established 3 site development CDs for $100,000 each at Chemung Canal Trust Company. The loan committee did tentatively approve an IRP loan last month. We've been waiting on insurance documentation before we obtain a final recommendation, and I'll bring that to the board through email once done so that we can move forward on the tentative closing for that.
What are they doing over there?
At the Country Floor? Yeah. It's being sold by the old owner to a girl named Evelyn Moscow. She has worked there for many years and wants to purchase it and run it going forward. Yeah. Good. Great. So moving on to the Railroad Committee, Joe and RJ Corman's attorneys agreed upon the recommended updates to the consent and estoppel agreement. It now allows the IDA to authorize permission before the bank would transfer.
You know what, Christine, I can't hear you.
You can't
I can hear
me?
you, but I can't tell what you're saying.
Thank you for letting me know. Can you hear
I'm
me
pretty
now?
sure that's a Joe problem.
I'm sure too.
So what does that mean?
Okay, so I'll try again.
Okay.
This consent.
I know the topic is real estate, okay?
Okay, so we're talking about the RJ Corman consent and estoppel
Oh, yes.
that you updated with their attorney.
Yeah, and we discussed this, if it not last month, the month before.
Yeah.
I requested a change which would give us control over an assignment by RJ Corman to an outside entity.
Mm-hmm.
And the language that we came up with was that our consent would not be unreasonably withheld. So, you know, we don't have to accept just anybody. We have a right to look into and determine whether or not it's someone appropriate to manage this asset. So we discussed that specific language at that meeting. They finally agreed to it, and we've incorporated it into the document. And so we're ready to sign and put that to bed.
Can everybody see the document?
It looks like it is signed.
Yeah,
But,
Okay, let's put it to bed.
okay,
okay,
Motion.
all right.
How about a second?
Second,
Crazy, I'll second.
Jen Ceccarelli,
Yes.
Kevin Gillette,
Yes.
Aaron Gowen,
yes.
Tracy Manell,
Yes.
Martha Sabri,
Yes.
Eric Knowles.
He dropped out. He had another meeting.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. John Ward.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Figured I'd share with you the railroad income for last year compared to the year prior. Can you see the report?
Yep.
Okay, so total income, 125,958 last year, actually an increase from 2019. Thought you'd like to see that, know where we stood. Let's go ahead and move on and let you all know that we did release the 231 main pilot. It reached its termination date and Joe's office completed those release documents for us. So that will be back in the taxable roll section for the school taxes and forward. I sent out the ag value chain update memo created by the consultant explaining, you know, all the work that's been done and all of the possible remedies or you know, focus points for moving forward. Megan Griffiths has been running this study group and she's done a great job. If anybody has particular questions about that, I would recommend reaching out to her, and if you don't have her contact, I'll be happy to share it with you. The broadband study, we're waiting on reimbursement. I submitted the reimbursement request and I shared with you all the executive summary of that study. Please remember it's confidential. It's Southern Tier Network's proprietary information, so they've requested that we keep that confidential. The Town of Richford Railroad, Elaine Jardine from EDMP has been leading a grant application. It's due on the 5th. We may or may not have to actually apply during the next round just for a few details involved, but so far we have RJ Corman's team on board and they've agreed to fund the match requirement, and we've obtained some estimates from engineering firms on what those services would be. So looking forward to moving forward with a remedy for that railroad that causes 5 to 8 homes flooding around the area. And then no changes with the other 2 grants listed here, still waiting on reimbursement from the VNS for $300,000. And that's all I have for the regular agenda today.
Does anyone have any items today for executive session? Joe, are you there?
No,
Leanne?
Nope.
Wow. Any of the board members? No?
So late payments,
I'm good.
So I can't talk about that in regular session, although there are two companies that, you know, are late. I've sent them late notices. I'll continue to follow up with them. All of the COVID-19 loans are paid to date
okay, good.
as well.
I think we're skipping executive session today, folks.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion for this meeting? Anything else to talk about?
Motion to adjourn.
Okey dokey. Thanks,
Okey
Andrew.
dokey.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I appreciate it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take care all.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. Simple today. No.
Christine,
Yes.
I don't think the new